Hey, Ron, are you coming to Luke's birthday party? I don't think I can. Busy with work. I heard you finally got the job. I am so happy for you. Congratulations. Thanks. How are you doing? Is your health okay? Are you still seeing your therapist? I'm good. You don't need to worry about me. I know we have not been on good terms for the past few years, but I hope things can change between us. I don't think it's that easy, Janice. Right. So tell me, how is work? You just finished college, so it must have been a completely new environment for you. It's fine. At least for the time being, I can say that. My coworkers are friendly to me, and my seniors are extremely cooperative and helpful. Working as a graphic designer was always your dream. I'm glad you're finally pursuing it as your career. Yeah, but there's still a long way to go. You'll do good. I know that for sure. Thanks. Uncle was asking for you. Have you talked to him recently? No. You should. He misses you. I don't, and I don't think I would ever talk to him. What about Mom? Are you not going to talk to her either? Don't ask me questions you already know the answer to, Ron. I know it makes you upset when I say the truth. They are ready to forgive you. Why can't you just let it go and be a little considerate about them for once? Forgive me for what? I did nothing. You know what you did, and that led to the massive chaos in our family. Stop acting like you are the victim here. You have no idea how hurt Uncle was after you left home. He raised us, Janice. Ever since Dad passed away, he has been with us. He loved us, took care of us. He supported Mom, and that was why we were able to achieve our dreams. He is a saint in your eyes, and no matter how many times I scream the truth, I know you will never believe me. You accused him of Dad's death. What the hell was wrong with you? You are 22, Ron. Do you seriously don't believe me? Do you really think I would call that man out for nothing? You started a grudge against him ever since he found out you have been smoking hash. You were wasting money instead of studying for college. That was a lie, and I have always hated that man, for reasons you will never know. You lied. That's the only reason why you never faced him again. You broke their trust, but not for once do you feel guilty about it. Ron, please stop. I don't want to have this argument with you again. I may not talk to them, but you are my little brother. I don't want to lose you too. We were never siblings to begin with. The moment you broke all contact with Uncle, you broke ties with me. Are you really saying that? Am I really that terrible of a person in your eyes? You left me no choice. You weren't even by my side when I needed you the most as my sister. I was there, but you found me incompetent. You thought I would never understand your pain, but that's not true. I was there, and if only you had believed me then, I would have never left. What's the point in digging the grave now? You were not there, and that's the end of it. If you had considered me family, you would have apologized for your mistakes. Dad was too good to you, and so was my uncle. I think you took their love for granted, and that's why I can't stand you anymore. I think you've already made up your mind about the kind of person that I am, and there's nothing left for me to do. If you're saying that I'll never change my mind, you're right. All right, so be it then. I'm not going to beg for your forgiveness anymore. I did nothing wrong, and I'll stand by it for the rest of my life. But let me tell you this one last time. Your uncle killed our father. Before he committed suicide, he told Uncle about it. I heard them talking, and Uncle rejected his pain, as if he was a whiny kid. He could have helped, but he didn't. And when I confronted him, you and Mom sided with him. Forget it, Janice. I'm done talking to you. You're not. I know there is no way I can prove my innocence, but that man is a monster. And I hate to say this, but so is the woman I call my mother. Maybe it's because Dad adopted me, but you have no clue what happened to me, what they did to me. All my teenage years, I lived in fear, thinking they would throw me out if I ever disobeyed them. You were always a pacifist, and you were also naive who found comfort in their arms. They were your support while I was their scapegoat. When they realized I would tell you everything, they lied about me to you. They made me look like the villain. And when I ran away, they finally struck the bullseye. We haven't appropriately talked to each other for the past 6 years, Ron. How can I make you understand when you never allowed me to explain myself? I already know enough. I know what you thought of me as well, and your actions said it all. You were always distant and act like you didn't care about me. When I was suffering from depression after Dad's death, you were nowhere to be found. Just because I never attended therapy doesn't mean I was fine. There was more to what you just saw or heard, but it's pointless to tell you anything. Again, treating me like a stupid little child. If your problems were that big, why didn't you share them with me? Just say you always looked down on me. It's because you were a child. You were young, for God's sake, Ron. I didn't want you to see the mess I was in. Don't act all high and mighty, Janice. Forget it then. Think whatever you want about me. I can't explain myself anymore. But just remember, you will always be my brother, no matter what happens. You can hate me for being cold-hearted, but I never stopped loving you. I wish you could believe me instead of Mom and Uncle's words. After the chat with Janice, I was extremely frustrated. To tell the truth, Janice is not my real sister. One of Dad's friends and his wife passed away in a car accident, and Janice was their daughter. She was only 3 when Dad decided to adopt her. I was born a year later, but during those times, it never felt like we were not blood related. We were a happy family who stuck together during tough times. However, when I turned 10, Dad lost his job. One of his coworkers framed him for forgery, and that was what led to the downfall of his career. It was hard to find a job for him after that, and it only worsened our situation. Eventually, Dad started to fall into depression, and 2 years later, he committed suicide. That's when Janice started to change. Or maybe she was always like that, and I failed to see her true self. My Uncle Dave stepped up when my dad passed away. He started to help us financially and emotionally, and a year later, things started to get better. But Janice hated him, and her relationship with Mom got even bitter. While financially we lived a stable life, our family started to break because of Janice. It was during the 2nd year of her high school when Mom and Uncle found Janice had been smoking weed. Her school performance was poor, and she used to get in fights with her schoolmates. Because of all that commotion, I was soon diagnosed with clinical depression and anxiety. Since then, Mom and Uncle started to take extra care of me, but Janice maintained a safe distance with me, as if I disgusted her. Our relationship changed over time, and before I knew it, she had left the house after getting into a huge fight with Uncle. She accused him of Dad's death, and it made me furious. She even cussed Mom, and I knew I no longer wanted her in my life. 2 months later. How is my son doing? Is everything okay? Yes, Ma. How is your health? I'm doing good and going on a trip to Florida with Kira at the end of the month. Finally. Wow, nice. But Dad's Remembrance Day is on that week. It's going to be 10 years. Didn't we plan to keep a small gathering to our friends and family? Oh yes, the tickets have been booked already, but don't worry. I have something else planned for it. What exactly? You remember the NGO I volunteered for mental health awareness? They are holding a small get-together for the families who lost their loved ones because of suicide. You can attend that. Why just me? Shouldn't we all go there? What about Uncle? I think he will be busy too. Don't disturb him. He has been quite stressed lately. All right. Did you tell him anything about Janice? Not really. Why did you ask? She doesn't even bother asking us how we have been doing. How can someone be so selfish? Some people just are. and there is no explanation to it. Your dad really loved her. I do too. But I think she never considered us family. I would love to have us all together one day, but I think it's impossible now. Mom, don't stress about it too much. She is doing fine, and you should not be worrying about her so much. Neither should Uncle. I hope you guys can just forget about her and move on. It's not that easy, Ron. When you become a parent, you'll understand. Maybe I will. For now, though, you take care of yourself and enjoy your upcoming vacation. Will do. Love you, baby. Love you too, Mom. 2 days later. Hey, Uncle. How have you been? I was thinking of going fishing. Want to join me? I think I'll pass. Busy with the shop, son. No time for your nephew anymore, huh? Well, I guess these are the drawbacks of growing into an adult. Oh, son, it's not like that. I've been preoccupied lately. Is there something in your mind? I was thinking about Janice. How is she? Did you talk to her after your last conversation with her? No, I don't think I'd want to talk to her again. She is your sister. You should not be so mean to her. She is the mean one here, Uncle. She never tries to understand how much you guys miss her. I don't know what's her problem, and I think it's for the best if I just give up on her. I thought our relationship would heal with time, but maybe it's for the best if we stay away. You have a big heart. If I were in your place, I don't think I'd have been able to forgive her. She is my niece, my little brother's daughter. No way I can stay angry with her forever. If only she could understand. I called her a few days ago. What? Why? She must have insulted you again. Classic Janice. That girl really is something. What did she say? Same old. I tried to change her mind, but she lashed out again. That's why Mom was saying you have been stressed lately. Uncle, stop talking to her. This is going to affect your health. I can't just leave her behind, can I? You can. Just stop calling her. I don't think she will ever understand how you have been dealing with everything ever since she cut contact. At least she is living a good life. I was worried she might end up alone somewhere. You don't need to worry anymore. Just take care of yourself. I am, son. I am. And thank you for doing so much and being such an amazing uncle. I'm glad. Thank you, son. Take care. As Dad's Memorial Day neared, I started to organize a few things. Mom and Uncle were going to be busy, so I decided to handle everything on my own this year. Janice never attended the NGO get-togethers, even when I told her to. That was enough of an implication to clear things. For the 6 years, it's been just me, Mom, and Uncle who mourned his death and visited his grave. Never have I even seen Janice leave flowers at his grave. When I confronted her 3 years ago, she acted all shocked and sad. But I knew better. She was lying, and that worsened her image in my head. However, this year, after the little gathering was over, when I reached Dad's grave around the evening, I saw a bunch of white olives already there. At first, I thought it was Uncle, but then I saw Luke walk up to me. Late, but I knew you'd come here, he remarked as he stood in front of me. These were your father's favorite flowers. Only Janice knew about it. I thought your mom would send her accomplices to throw away the flowers to make Janice look like the bad guy again. I narrowed my eyes at his snarky comment. Are you here to advocate for your girlfriend? No, I came here to help you understand your sister a little better, he said with a small smile before pulling a small journal from behind his back. What is this? I asked, surprised. The journal you gave Janice when she turned 10. She started writing on it when she was 15, he said, handing it to me. I found this while she was clearing her closet last weekend. she never showed me until that day. His words made me let out a dry laugh. So she asked you to give me this and live her innocence? Nope, she doesn't even know I have this. He raked simply. Give it a read when you have the time, Ron. She will never tell you the truth because she is scared she might lose you too. He left after saying that while I stood there, confused. That night, before going to bed, I decided to read that journal. Janice was never into writing entries but here. It looked like she started writing when Dad lost his job. She described how our family was suffering and everything. But what shocked me was when I read the diary entry a day before Dad's death. She mentioned how Uncle refused to help Dad during the crisis and called him a loser. As I scanned the pages, the truth slowly was revealed to me. She had written how Mom used her to reach out to Uncle after Dad's death, and how she was sexually assaulted by Uncle. Mentions of her suicidal tendencies were also there, but what was more consistent that was her concerning for me. When I was diagnosed with depression, she had written 2 full pages apologizing just for not being a good sister. Apparently, my uncle threatened her to never tell me the truth, or else he would make me kill myself too, just like Dad. That was why she stayed away from me. She had written only until her final high school years, and I felt devastated as I finished the last few pages. Tears rolled down my eyes, but there was no stopping it. All the care and crying, it was all an act Uncle and Mom played. Without wasting more time, I decided to pay her a visit. She was shocked when she saw me on her doorstep, but when I showed her the diary, her eyes welled up with tears. We both had a long conversation after that, and we both ended up crying in each other's arms. I felt terrible, but at the same time, glad. A few days later, I finally confronted Mom, and she spilled the truth. I felt disgusted. So much that I didn't want to keep any contact with my uncle. I couldn't believe I trusted them all these years, like an idiot, while they were the one who used Janice for their filthy entertainment. I know I was not a good brother, and now I promised myself I would stand by her side. They were no longer the family I once admired, but I was happy that I had found my sister back after the truth was revealed to me.